The quote of the day, the quote of the night, the quote of now is you can do everything, or sorry, you can do anything, but not everything. And that is from David Allen. And besides being a little chaotic, which I think is part of the reason this quote spoke to me today, is because I wouldn't say that I am a complete control freak, and I wouldn't say that I have not been aware that I can't do everything. But I will say I have been prone to feeling like I have to remember everything, kind of have that ongoing mental checklist of all the things that have to be remembered, whether or not it's, getting my kids ready for the next school year, or keeping track of all of their events, or if it's keeping track of all the little tasks at work, or keeping track of, oh, the toilet needs to be cleaned, or we need to get the stuff from the grocery store, or whatever. I have been prone to feeling like I never have enough time to write that stuff down. I'm not very good with journals. I'm not very good with like planners. I'm not very good with keeping calendars. I have tried repeatedly throughout my life to use varying formats of task management, event management, just all of that stuff. Handwritten stuff does not work for me. I start to do it and then I'm like, ugh, I don't have time for that. That kind of thing. I do better with digital formats. One of my biggest, I'm not like a huge Microsoft fan, but I do love, they have an application called Teams, and within Teams, you can have applications that go into that application, apps for apps. Anyway, and I do love the Planner app, and there's nothing like free that I have found that mimics it the way I like to use it. And the reason I like Teams so much, and the reason I use it so heavily at work, is that I can go, because there's so many things at work and so many things in life that are repeating things. Every day I have to do this. Every week I have to do this. Every January I have to do this. And I can brain dump all of that information into Planner and set up repeating patterns, and then it just creates the checklist for me. The fact that it automates that thing for me is fantastic. And for a while, it was one of those things where it was kind of daunting to learn, and it was daunting to do the brain dump process because it feels so time consuming. And I had had such bad luck in the past with doing paper versions of that. Lots of people do what's called bullet journaling. So, or, they'll sit down and write out like their whole month or their whole year or whatever, or their whole day or their whole week. But then they have to do it for every single day, every single month, every single year. And I can't be bothered to maintain that. But I can do it if like the repeating things generate themselves. And so that's one of the reasons I have latched onto it so much for work. And it was kind of the beginning point for me for saying, I don't have to, like, if there are tools to my advantage to help me remember things, keep track of things, I do write a lot of stuff down. Making time to go back through those notes and put them into usable places for myself is sometimes tricky. I mean, notes, 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 notes. I've got at least 3 paper pads, stuff with notes, I've got tools, and I do occasionally make time for it. I'm better at it at work. I'm better at a lot of this stuff at work because I have to do this for other people, and I have like deadlines and responsibilities and stuff that, professionally speaking, take precedence as far as managing that stuff. I'm always less likely to do that for myself, but if it's for other people, I'm way more likely to be proactive to try and deal with it. So I do convert my paper notes a lot of times, or a lot more frequently at work. And I also have Planner there, so I'm able to dump it into a format that works really well for how I function. But like, that was the beginning of me saying, if you take the time to write things down, or if you take the time to put it in a spreadsheet, or if you take the time to actually dump that information into your calendar, if you take the time to set up alarms and timers for yourself, I'm also a big fan of that now. it's okay that you didn't remember that next Tuesday at 6 o'clock you needed to, fill out a form or whatever. It doesn't say anything less about you as a person. In fact, I would argue that it says more than if you remembered every little minutia detail of every single moment of every single day of every single thing that you interact with, every person that you're responsible for helping deal with stuff or remember things for. Because you're alleviating the stress and anxiety and just pressure to kind of always be performing in that capacity. Like, it's okay to use tools to help yourself not have to be going constant. Like, my brain circus is always on. Like, it doesn't ever stop. I think I read somewhere that, like, not everybody functions that way, where they have like this constant, like, almost like Rolodex inside their head of all these things. Which wow, cool. Is that cool? I don't know. Like, how would that be? I don't know how it is. Anyway, we could get off on that weird brain circus tangent. We don't need to go there. But I don't think I ever like equated it to ego. But I think, there's ego related things in there, like, I don't even think I really felt bad about it. Like, if I would feel like I couldn't, like, if I'm not keeping track of all of this stuff and have it always in my mind, I'm less of a person. But I do think a lot of people end up with complexes like that, whether or not they're like actually getting mad about it with themselves or not. Like, there are a lot of people who feel like they are responsible for remembering all the information all the time, or, everybody's birthdays or everybody's gatherings or everybody's this, that, and the other. There are a lot of people who feel like they are the information keepers, the note takers, the checklist makers, the caretakers. And it is, I don't know if it's because we think that, maybe we're not as useful if we don't remember it all without the help of I don't know. Or maybe I'm just like my own brand of nuts about it, where it's just like maybe I was just resistant to it because I had not come across the right system yet. But yeah, just I felt like I was struggling to find a quote tonight. And then this one just kind of jumped out at me because sometimes life is chaotic, and it can be such a relief to know that you took care of yourself in advance, because you can't be everything all the time. You're not always going to have all of the energy and all of the bandwidth. And what happens if things slip your mind? How negatively do you spiral when that occurrence happens? Because I know I have been frustrated with myself for forgetting things or double booking things or letting things slide longer than they should. I mean, I still do that, but like anything I can do to alleviate like negative spiraling, I think is good. So while I can do anything, I can't do everything. Not all the time, not in my life, not in this moment. And it's okay. Doesn't make me a bad person, doesn't make me less than, doesn't make me inferior in some way. It just means I'm a human being. And allowing yourself to find things that can help you control the chaos does not say less about you. I think it can make you better. Letting go can be very powerful. And it's hard, I think sometimes, especially if you have trouble with control, or if you have, like if you are like kind of the default person to take care of things. I don't know, it can be very powerful to realize that you can use tools to relieve the pressure on yourself. You don't have to live in that constant state. And it's nice to let go. It doesn't mean you stop doing stuff. I mean, you might even have more bandwidth to take care of more things in a healthier, more positive way. Because it's a lot. Life is a lot, and there's a lot going on, and it doesn't ever stop. Like, I just got back, what? Oh, gosh, was that over a week ago now? I got back on the 12th. Gosh, it's already been 12 days. And I was like, okay, I'll get to relax a little bit, a little rest a little bit. And we're already hitting the ground running on stuff that's coming up. School years, like I'm starting to do school year related stuff already. I'm starting to take, clothes are part of school because, kids can't be naked at school. Um, there's a lot of stuff coming. And, there's stuff that I want to do for fun. Like I'm hoping to take the kids to the zoo tomorrow, although it's supposed to rain. We'll see how that goes. But and then I run a big event at the end of, Labor Day weekend, so Labor Day in the States. And, that's a big 4-day event, and we're getting stuff going for that. And that's exciting, but it's also a lot to do. And then I have a lot to do for regular work and regular everything. So I get to kind of rest, but also, like, let's go. We got more stuff to do. Thanks for dropping in. If you want to hang out, I stream live on Twitch and YouTube Thursday evenings and middays on Sunday. I hope you have a lovely day, night, time, wherever you are, whenever you are. I'll see you next time.